listening to the Straight to Video podcast with Rob Lane.
All right, how's it going? And welcome to a new episode of my podcast, Straight to Video. I hope all is going great with you out there and you're enjoying things as we get to the warmer part of the year with a little more sun, which I think and hope gives me a little more energy and creative buzz to get stuff done. On today's show, I get to bring you a chat with not one but two rock and rollers in the form of Janet Gardner and Justin James. Many of you will know Janet from her time in the brilliant hard rock band Vixen, who in the late 80s and early 90s gave us hits such as Edge of a Broken Heart, Crying, Love Is a Killer, and many, many more. To this day, those songs sound great, and I have a bunch of the old vinyl picture discs still tucked away in my collection, and it still blows my mind all the cool stuff record labels used to put out back then. So since meeting guitarist, songwriter, and producer Justin at a Vixen show some years ago, the couple struck up both a romantic and working relationship, which has seen them release several albums over the past few years, including their latest record, No Strings, which is released on June the 9th through Frontiers, and we chat all about that, their recent Monsters of Rock cruise adventure. We learn about what each of them were doing back in 1985, the theme of the latest single, early Vixen trips to the UK, including their Milton Keynes Bowl appearance with Bon Jovi and Skid Row, along with lots of other fun stuff. It was great to connect with these two, and I hope you enjoy listening. As always, this Straight to Video podcast is proudly presented to you in association with Affinity Photo. Affinity Photo is an incredible piece of photo editing software which I use every week for graphic design, and it's used to create the podcast episode artwork you see each and every week, and most importantly, it's an extremely affordable alternative to other programs on the market. So if you have time, please check them out at affinity.serif.com. All right, let's get into today's chat. If you want to learn more about Janet and Justin's music, then your best place to find everything is at janetgardnermusic.com. But for now, please enjoy my straight to video talk with Janet Gardner and Justin James.
Hey, how you doing, Rob?
How's it going?
Good. Long time no see.
How you both doing?
Good.
Great.
Yeah, we just got back from doing the Monsters of Rock cruise, so it was weird because we've done these before, but for some reason this time it's like jet lag. We can't get with it.
Did you just go as an acoustic duo?
Yeah, we did this time. It was great. I mean, everything about it was fun. Hanging out with people, the fans, hanging out on the private island. It was great.
Where did it go to this time? Where was the routing for it?
It went to Haiti and the Dominican Republic, right?
Yeah, Puerto Plata in the Dominican, and then Labadie, which is like a private area of Haiti. So we didn't have to be, afraid that like a bomb's going to drop on us or stray bullets or anything like that. So, no, it was beautiful. It was really, really a good time. We went zip lining from like off on this mountain down over the ocean, and it was amazing.
Who did you get the chance to see live or catch up with whilst you were out there?
We went and saw Taiketo. Little history with those guys, so it was great. It was kind of their farewell show with two members in the band, so it was great to see that. They were amazing. And we saw Ches Kane.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
Yeah, because we had seen everybody else on the boat multiple times, so we wanted to see something new, and she was awesome.
Yeah, she's got some great songs, and she's doing great over here.
Yeah, she really captures that whole 80s sound just perfectly.
And Taiketo was always great.
Danny's voice is just unreal.
I know, and we dragged him into our acoustic set and did a version of Stop Dragging My Heart Around. So he was a really good sport to do that. It was great.
Any chance for you to try out any new material from the upcoming No Strings album?
We didn't. We chickened out at the last minute.
No, that's not true. We did. We did do one song. We did a song called She Floats Away.
We did that?
We did do that song. Yes, the first night. Because you played two
Are you
shows on
sure?
the... Yeah, you played two shows on the boat.
It's the jet lag.
Remember.
The first night we played that, and the second night we had Danny come up and sing with us.
Right,
on the
okay.
song,
So yes, we did. We did try out a brand new song. We were going to do two, but we chickened out on one of them. I chickened out on one of them. I was like, I don't know the words. I'm trying to play. I'm trying to sing.
These cruisers, they're showing no sign of letting up. They just seem to go from strength to strength. And it's like a real testament to this style of music, which for a long time, everyone wrote it off. Oh, that music was a fad back in the 80s, but it's just getting bigger and bigger. Are you seeing more fans, more like younger fans coming on these trips?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Definitely. And what I find interesting too, because I thought the same thing, that, I mean, how many years can this go on? But it's sold out still, and it still has people coming. I mean, I think they put it together so well, and it's such a great time for everybody. And you can see so many bands that you don't normally, like, even for us, like Hardcore Superstar and bands like that don't come to America. It's kind of cool because I'm a fan of all those guys, and to see those bands is awesome, all in one place. And then your Teslas and everybody else, it's really cool.
No Strings. It's the fourth album you both worked on together, I believe, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Do the two of you have a pretty good working routine these days after such a long time? You know what works and how each other operates, or is there always surprises?
Well, there's surprises here and there, but we definitely are kind of departmentalized. When a certain thing needs to be done, I'll be like, okay, you do your thing. I'll go do some laundry. And then when you're done with that, then I'll do my thing and you can go mow the lawn. So yeah, we have a good workflow. And like I said, slightly departmentalized, but not completely. There will be times when, Justin's not home and I'll be stuck doing something I normally don't do, or vice versa. Be like, I guess I'll take a crack at this.
What is the recording process for the two of you these days, from like that initial idea to getting the full song, I'm going to say on tape, but onto computers?
Right, yeah.
Is it all done at home, or do you take it so far, then utilize a full studio for certain elements?
No, we do everything at home. Yeah, usually, it'll start with one of us will come up with a basic idea. And then I don't think we've ever had a song where the two of us haven't worked on together. It always starts with an initial idea that one of us has, and then the other comes in and adds their special touch to it. And then it just grows from there.
And we don't do demos. Because obviously these days you can cut and paste. There's so much you can do that you don't need to do like a whole demo of the song. It evolves as you go. And you'll delete a track that, I can redo that. I'll do that better, cut and paste, do all these crazy things. So, I mean, the first album, we did a couple that we totally redid.
Right.
And considered the original version demos. But from then on, we really kind of just work on it until it's ready to go.
Well, that's one of the things that I think is so cool about today with the way software works on computers and recording, that it's so accessible to pretty much anybody, that if you just take the time and learn how to use it, I mean, it's endless possibilities of what you can do. And sometimes you actually have to be careful that you don't overdo something and add 25 different guitar parts or something and make it too complex.
You have to know when to step back every now and again.
His guitars, my guitars, more of his guitars, clean guitars, heavy guitars everywhere. Too many.
But to me, it's so fun to do it from start to finish, to writing, to the mixing and the mastering, and then at the end of it, hearing everything. And it's kind of like having a baby. And I guess, that's pretty much kind of the procedure. One of us has just some idea, just noodling around, and the other one likes it. Then like Janet will come in and come up with a bass line, and then, we'll lay down some drums. And then it's usually me on her ass to write words and sing something.
It is. He
I get pretty
definitely
demanding.
Yeah. He'll start, making demands and start withholding certain elements of our relationship unless I get those lyrics done.
No.
What's your recording history, Justin? Have you worked in the regular studio setting?
Just, with other bands, just recording, music, but never on the production end or that end of it. It was probably about 15 years ago. I had this real big fascination. Well, actually, our kids were real little and couldn't go out and play shows and do the rock star thing. So I was like, well, what's the next thing that can fill that void? And I spent years just studying and recording and learning how to do it myself, and got into that. And it became almost as big of a passion as playing music to me. And I loved it so much. And then when we started doing this, it kind of came in handy that we didn't have to spend all that extra money or wait for a third party to mix something for us. It was kind of all in our lap, which was both good and bad. But, you know, it was nice to kind of have full control over what we wanted to do. Because initially we did this just for ourselves, just to have fun and something we enjoy. Actually, we kind of avoided it for a long time. And it happened by accident and realized we actually really enjoyed doing this together.
Yeah, because I was really terrified that it would drive a wedge between us, but it did the opposite. You know, it actually became something that we love spending time together doing that.
Yeah. And it was just like, you know, taking, you know, in the years past being in a studio and watching somebody take something that was so raw and then you'd hear it later and go, oh my God, that sounds amazing. Yeah, it lit a fire in me to want to learn how to do that. I mean, I'm not as good as most of those people, but I enjoy it and it's just fun. And I just think at the end of the day, when you're making music, the most important thing first is to please yourself and make yourself happy. And if you're happy, hopefully others will enjoy it. And yeah, I think that's just kind of where it came from with us.
Is there a third party of a sounding board where the two of you work together and it's like, right, we need somebody else to listen to this to get some feedback? Do you have somebody you can trust for that?
We have a few people. Justin's brother is a non-musician, which is great because he's a music enthusiast. He loves, you know, the genre. He loves, you know, the same bands that we do and stuff. So it's great because his comments are very non-musician-y. He'll make a comment about something's not hitting him right, or, you know, something sounds a little fuzzy, but it gives us an opportunity to go, here's a guy who, you know, has no technical knowledge of what we do or how we do it. He just knows whether the song is working for him or it's not.
That sounds weird. That sounds off. Like,
Right.
you guys have been like so deep into it. It sounds fine. It sounds great. Listen to that snare drum, but he's hearing the snare in like a totally different context.
Right. He'll say something like, I don't like the way the chorus ends. Something isn't, you know, wrapping it. And we figured out there was a drum fill kind of in an odd place. We fixed that. And he was like, yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's better. So we have family members, and we really don't play it for a lot of people.
We've got Richie, who's our drummer, who's another huge fanatic with the genre of music. And he's probably our biggest fellow musician soundboard that we bounce ideas off of sometimes. And
yeah, we definitely get an idea of like his favorites, what hits him and what doesn't.
Right. And we've been pretty lucky and fortunate working with Pavement, who's been our main record label. And now we just signed up with Frontiers as well, that once we're finished, we send it off. And so far, it's been pretty good with not a lot of change this, change that, kind of just let us do what we want to do, which is great.
Yeah, let the artists do their art.
This album, it features the lead single, 85, the video, which I believe was shot appropriately at the Vixen Theatre in McHenry, Illinois. Is that nearby to where you live?
Yeah.
Is that your hometown, or is it like pretty close?
Close. It's about half an hour from here. But we played there. We played their opening. It's a new venue. So they thought that would be kind of funny to have us do the grand opening of the Vixen Theatre. So it was such a great place, and we had a really good time. The place was crowded, and the lights and stage were great. The sound was great. So when it came time to like, okay, we need a venue to do the video, that's the first place we thought of. And the guy was like, yeah, sure. I'll get my light guy and get my sound guy for the day. And off we went.
Superb. Janet, what was you doing back in 1985? Anything spring to mind? Would you been out in Hollywood or on tour?
Listen to the song. We had a couple guitars and a duct tape couch. That was all true. The song is true.
Fantastic. Would that have been the Vixen lineup we all know, or like one of the earlier versions?
That had to have been, that was there. It was before Cher. Roxy might have been in the band in 85, like right around then, maybe. So, yeah, we were just kicking around the LA area doing exactly what the song says. We didn't care about anything but the music and the guitars, and we had equipment, and that's about it.
I guess Hollywood back then was quite a far cry from Montana, where you grew up.
There's a bit of culture shock, for sure.
Did you feel comfortable out there, or was you quite driven and knew that's where you needed to be to make things work?
A little of both. I mean, I loved it. I loved the weather. You can't, I was used to Montana winters. It was like 60 below. So it was nice to just like downscale my closet.
Right.
I need shorts and t-shirts. I'm good to go. I don't need parkas and snow boots. And so, yeah, I liked it out there very much. And yeah, it was the place to be to, get your career going. So it was fun. In the chorus of 85, it says, we could see our breath, but didn't feel the cold. We also spent time in Iowa. We were on the road. We got an apartment. We had cardboard boxes for furniture. We were freezing in there. It was so cold, but we didn't care. We had our guitars.
What was you driving around in back then?
A van with a U-Haul trailer behind us.
I thought you had the Wally wagon from Vacation at that time.
We did. We had a station wagon for a while.
Yeah, the Wally wagon from Vacation.
Metallic P.
Yeah, right?
Good times back then. Good times.
How about you, Justin? What was you doing or listening to in 1985?
1985. I was pretty young in 85.
He was 5 years old in 1985.
Making me feel old.
But no, actually, in 1985, well, actually, it probably was more 1986. My favorite album and my first album that I ever got came out, which was Kiss Asylum. And that's what sticks with me about that year. So, yeah, I remember that was, I think my family has footage of me with a little plastic Kiss guitar. There was a home video of me imitating Don't Tell Me You Love Me by Night Ranger.
So good.
There was at one point, Janet said, well, maybe we should name the album 85. Let's call it 85. I said, well, what the hell are we going to do? Put a picture of me getting on the school bus in 1985, my little lunchbox? I don't think so. But however, no, I do remember getting Kiss Asylum, and that was the album that changed everything for me.
Fantastic.
So that's what I was doing, getting into music and developing my brain.
I was actually looking what other albums came out in 85. Kiss Asylum was one of them. Heart, self-titled, the one with These Dreams came out that year.
Right.
Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy.
Wow.
Motley Crue, Theater of Pain.
Great year.
Deep Purple, I think, came out in like 85. Perfect Strangers.
Bon Jovi's 7,800 Degrees Fahrenheit came out.
I really like that album.
Yeah,
they don't talk about it a lot, but I love that album.
It was a very good year for music.
Justin, can you tell us about how you got started in music? Was there anyone in particular that inspired you to begin playing?
Absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, when I say like Kiss Asylum, Bruce Kulick, everybody grew up with Kiss in the makeup era, and I love that. I mean, they're my favorite band, but the Bruce Kulick stuff was definitely a huge, huge influence on me. That, and then John Sykes, those Whitesnake albums and the Thin Lizzy stuff he did prior to that, and Jakey Lee were definitely biggest influences when it came to music. And it's ironic because, I mean, Janet comes from the 80s, big hair scene and everything else. I'm more of a fanatic over that style of music than I think she is. She's more of a rhythm and blues 70s fanatic, and I'm more of a glam 80s. Like, that's all I listen to. I indulge in that stuff. So that, and then being from Chicago and Enough's Enough coming from here, one of my favorite freaking bands. Next to Kiss, Enough's Enough and UFO, I mean, I can listen to them all day and all night. And we were fortunate enough last summer, we were talking about the acoustic thing on the Monsters of Rock cruise. We never really dabbled in the acoustic thing. It just kind of happened. But last summer, we did a couple acoustic shows with Donnie V, and that was just a super treat to see him out there just performing those songs so stripped down. I mean, the guy is just such a talent when it comes to writing and
he was
singing.
So good. And what I really loved about those shows we did with him is he goes all in. He was going for notes that, and some of them didn't come out, but when they did, they were like, wow, he was so all in. I was so impressed by him. He was amazing.
The emotion in his singing, you could feel it. You can feel what he's going through. And
yeah, it was great. Those were really, really fun shows.
Yeah. So, but yeah, for me personally, yeah, like I come from just, growing up, and music just caught me at a very early age, and it happened to be around 1985 and, all that. And then when grunge kicked in, it was like somebody punched me in the gut. I just hated that music, and it was just so depressing and negative that now I appreciate it a little bit more than I did back then. But for me, it's always just been glam rock and pop rock and stuff like that. And I love it. I mean, I love bands like Skid Row too, and like, the heavier stuff too. I love that, with edge and attitude to it as well. But yeah, that's where I come from.
Are you Chicago born and raised?
Yeah, actually, it's funny because I think you've done stuff with Enough's Enough, right?
Yeah. I did some stuff with Bullet Boys. My first tour with them was with Enough's Enough.
Oh, right. Okay.
When it was with the three-piece with Moniker on guitar, he was singing at the same time.
Well, see, that's what was cool. Monaco, and I didn't realize this for a long time, but Monaco actually lived on the street right across from me.
No way.
I had no idea. So, occasionally, like, I would go to his house and go in his little studio that he had built in his basement and stuff. So, yeah, he was another big influence and just a phenomenal monstrous, for a little guy, a monstrous damn guitar player.
100%. Who do you remember coming through town back in the day, who you went to see live? Because, I mean, around in like the 90s, Chicago still had big bands like Smashing Pumpkins and Wilco.
Oh, yeah.
There was still big bands that came out from that area.
I mean, Enough's Enough did a lot of stuff around the area. Cheap Trick. Also they were not far away from where I grew up. I'm trying to think of who else. There was a band called Def Con that came out of here that were very close to being signed, that were really, really good. Actually, some small independent label put their CD out a couple years ago, and going back to that, it was like, holy crap. And there was a band called Smash Alley that was kind of getting big around here that was really, really good.
Whereabouts did Vixen play in Chicago, Janet? Do you remember?
We played a lot in this area, actually. There was a theater.
The Vic Theater.
The Vic Theater and House of Blues. I'm sure we did like opening stuff for Ozzy. I think we played, what's that big one?
Poplar Creek.
Poplar Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did some big shows and some, stuff on our own. Yeah, this has always been one of my favorite places to play. This area rocks, for sure.
You both met at a Vixen and Lita Ford concert, I believe, right?
We did.
Wow, you've done your homework.
Good job.
We did. We're playing the same place in June 24th, the Arcada Theater. Vixen was playing opening for Lita, and Justin was backstage. So we met briefly, and we were both chicken and shy and looking at the ground a lot.
I do. I remember staring at my feet quite a lot that night.
Yeah, I remember like thinking of excuses to go back in the room where he was. I need tea. That's it. I'm going to go get some tea. So I'd kind of come in, and we'd say another 5 words and then I'd chicken out and walk away. But we didn't keep in touch or anything after that, right?
No, I think about 6 or 7 months went by.
Did she accept your friend request on Facebook straight away, or was it take a while?
I had to beg. I had to send her multiple. No, she did. She was pretty good.
Well, we met again in person. And then I got him really drunk.
Almost killed me.
Yeah. So then we kind of let our guard down a little bit and got to know each other a little bit better that night. And then after that, we started keeping in touch and messaging on Facebook. And then I finally broke down and gave him my number.
Oh, I was too chicken to say anything.
He wasn't going to do anything. So I finally said, here's my number so we don't have to use Facebook. You can text me. So then we started texting and talking. But then you popped the question.
I did.
Yeah. He actually popped the marriage question.
So at least I one part of it.
Yes, he was very brave one night in Vegas.
Legend. Brilliant stuff. I saw you both perform at Rock City in the Basement Disco 2 venue a few years ago. Rock City was always on the Vixen tour dates back in 89 and 90 when you first started coming to the UK. Do you have any particular memories, Janet, of those early tours?
Oh, I just remember those were great. Every time we went to Europe or the UK, we were opening for somebody. So, of course, it's a lot of borrowed fans. It's a lot of people there that are not your fans. So it was so great to play places like that where it was filled with our fans. So it was fun. It was rowdy. People singing. You could hear everybody singing almost every song. It was great. Yeah, good memories of that.
You probably won't remember this, but I think you did a record signing at Way Ahead Records, which is in Nottingham as well. That was a legendary record store back in the day. It was just up at Alleyway. It's not there anymore. But was you a fan of doing in stores, or were they like a necessary evil?
Most of them were good. They were fine. It's just occasionally it would take way too long. You couldn't leave anybody standing there. So as much as people would try to get people through, there were a few stops we made doing in stores that were just hours.
Right.
And, we still had to go to sound check, play a show. We still had interviews to do. We still had a lot of other stuff going on, but we couldn't leave anybody standing there not getting their album signed.
They make such a big impression on people as well. They're such a big deal for the fans.
Well, yeah, and it's a great thing for us to get to meet fans in person. It's a really important thing. But yeah, there were a few days it was kind of like, what are we going to do? We got to go. Time clock's a ticking here. But yeah, they were great. And it made you feel great that so many people would show up. You know, we would pull up to the record store and go, oh my God, these people are all here for us. How cool is that?
One show you did early in the UK was the huge Milton Keynes Bowl gig with Bon Jovi, Europe and Skid Row. That must have been something else. Was you prepared for how big that show was?
No. It was just absurd. I mean, literally, we walked out there, I was just like, there's people as far as you could see. That was definitely a shock to the system.
Was Skid Row on first on that date? Then you were on after Skid Row?
Yeah, oddly enough, that turned around quickly. But at that time, yeah, Skid Row opened for us. How weird was that? They were awesome, too. Great guys. Yeah. That was the first time I met Sebastian, and I instantly liked him.
He's just like a ball of energy. It's like unreal.
Oh, for sure. He ran in our dressing room, and it was like, holy cow. Yeah, the Tasmanian devil came ripping through our dressing room. They're all really good guys. Yeah, it was the first time that we met Bon Jovi, too, and that was cool. They were awesome.
Because that would be the New Jersey tour, wasn't it? So that was kind of pretty much peak Bon Jovi at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, wasn't that the tour that lasted like 32 months or something crazy like that?
Yeah, they just kept going.
Justin, was you ever like a festival guy growing up? Did you go to any big festivals like during the 90s or anything like that?
Not really. I'm trying to think here because, for the music I liked at that time period, there really weren't that many. I mean, growing up in Chicago, we had Lollapalooza here. And to be honest, it's not my thing. So the closest thing for me that would come to a festival was probably, and it wasn't even near what a festival would be like a Poison tour, because Poison always brings out like 5 or 6 bands with them.
Yeah.
So that was probably the closest thing for me. Like the Native Tongue tour, ironically. I love that album. That was a great tour and had like Damn Yankees and Firehouse and LSD and a lot of cool killer. And Leonard Skinner, ironically, but they were great. They were fantastic.
How did LSD go down on that bill?
They're weird, but yeah, they were. And that's another Chicago band, too, that I didn't think of.
Yeah.
They were interesting. They were good. They were another band that, like, for me growing up, I didn't get it when it first came out. But later, when I heard songs like Tank and stuff like that, I'm like, God, that is good. And I was talking to Alex Kane a couple years ago when we were in Australia together. And I was asking him about like, how did that riff in that song is just, my God, is it great? So, but yeah, they were the odd band on that bill for sure. But they were good. They were great.
They were like that one of those like weird crossover bands where it's not the music I like, but there's something really cool about it.
Yeah, no, they were great.
Are there any plans to return to the UK in support of this new album?
We were supposed to actually come out earlier
in
this
March. Yeah, for Hard Rock Hell.
Hard Rock Hell in a couple dates, and we actually had a loss in the family, and it kind of screwed things up for us, and we had to cancel that. So we are definitely going to come. Nothing's set in stone yet, but we will be back for sure.
Just to kind of wrap things up, we talked about some great albums from 1985. There's some amazing films too. I don't know if you recall the first time you saw some of these. Back to the Future, Breakfast Club, The Goonies, Commando, St. Elmo's Fire. Any of your favorites in there? Either of you big film fans at all?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We were just talking about that the other day, that I was saying that music in the 80s was so fitting. That Commando, I love that movie. I might be off a little bit, but Cobra that came out, I love Cobra. And I'm a big horror movie fan.
We've got a whole new podcast to go on then. We could be here for a while.
Yeah, the slasher movies from the 80s to me were just the best. They were just so cool. And I'm a fan of like some of the other like Killer Clowns from Outer Space and things like that are just a lot of people laugh at. I love it. On the Monsters of Rock cruise, on the limited channels they had, that happened to be one of the movies that played there. And I did not leave the bed. I watched that whole thing from start to finish.
He's like, who cares if we're on a cruise? Killer Clowns from Outer Space is on.
Yeah, forget it.
I don't want to go to the beach. I got to watch this.
But there was another great movie that came out, I want to say in like 84, called Hard Bodies. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, what's the story behind that? I've never seen the film, but I know you was part of it.
Yeah, I can't even remember how it came about. Our manager, we were staying with friends and stuff, and he said there was a movie looking for a band. So he submitted our songs, and they said, yeah. So we did this kooky movie. It was a cool experience.
I'll wrap this up, but thanks ever so much for chatting with us. I wish you all the best with the new album. Excited for that to be released in a couple of weeks, and hopefully see you back in the UK very, very soon.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us on, and it's so great to catch up with you again, Rob.
You enjoy the rest of your day and hopefully see you real soon.
You too. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Big thanks to Janet Gardner and Justin James for spending some time with me on today's Straight to Video podcast. A super fun couple who I hope can make it back to the UK later this year. In the meantime, check out their new music and album No Strings, which you can pick up at janetgardnermusic.com, and the new single 85 from the album is out now. There are over 230 episodes of this show available to listen to for free over at stvpod.com, or if you listen on one of the big podcast apps, please be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode when they drop each Friday. Already got the next few shows in the bag, so I look forward to bringing those your way, and lots of other fun stuff too, which is beginning to happen with Straight to Video. Keep posted on all the social media channels, and make sure to check out our Straight to Video 80s video shop, which is our own recreation of an old school video store and is based in Alfreton, Derbyshire, and open at the weekends from 11 till 3 p.m. We're just 10 minutes from junction 28 of the M1, but if you can't make it to the shop, you can support us through our website, www.80svideoshop.co.uk, where we have some cool merch and lots of other fun stuff on the way over the coming months. So that is all for today's show. As always, I really appreciate you listening. Until we chat again, remember to always be kind, please rewind and unwind, and I'll speak to you all real soon.